Hello everyone, I am Dr. Preeti Kulkarni and I will be sharing with you the construction and working of the flame photometer which we have constructed in our laboratory. I would like to share with you the material which we require for constructing this flame photometer. So we need a Bunsen burner. Then we need a scrap oil tin container. This is a scrap oil tin container which is commonly available in India. It has a capacity of 10 liters. Then a mesh nebulizer which is used in respiratory disorders in order to aid better breathing or respiration. Then in order to mount the smartphone, we need the stand. So it has 3 arms which can be bent very easily to adjust the height. The following glass apparatus is required. This is a special glass tube which we have got constructed for this instrument. Then in order to prepare the solutions, we need basic glass material like glass rod, watch glass for weighing the compounds, volumetric flask for making up the volumes, then graduated glass pipettes which have markings for taking the solutions in required volumes. Then in order to take these volumes, we need bulb. Then once the solutions are ready, they were poured into beakers. So we need beakers of 250 ml and 100 ml capacity. Following chemicals were used during this experiment: lithium chloride, which was the standard compound used, sodium chloride, potassium chloride, calcium chloride. All these chemicals were of analytical reagent grade of highest purity. Then we have analyzed lithium content from psychotropic drugs. So we have used lithium carbonate tablets as a source of lithium. So this was the sample which was analyzed using this flame photometer, and all the solutions were prepared using double distilled water. Of course, a gas cylinder which is required, which is the source of the gas. This is attached with the help of a rubber pipe to the Bunsen burner which I have shown earlier. Now let me show you each part and let me describe the working of each part in detail. So first we need the mesh nebulizer. This has a rubber fitting on the front part. So this was detached. This is usually attached to the mouth of the patient, and in its place we are going to attach the tube, which I will be speaking a little later. Then it has an opening at the top. On opening it, you can see that can be filled with the solution which is usually used in the case of respiration, but here we are going to use, or we are going to fill it with the solution which we are going to analyze. So I will show you in the video the solution. So we can fill this with the solution of required volume. It has a capacity of around 10 ml, and then it can be closed from the top. Then you can see a white button. So on pressing that button, the blue light glows and we can easily see that the sample solution is converted into steam. Where the rubber part was removed, at that place we are going to connect the special glass tube which we have specially got designed from the glass blower. It has a typical shape where it is broad at one end and it is tapering towards the other end. This broad part is of the same dimensions as the mouth of this nebulizer, so it is fitted tightly. Then the second part is the scrap tin oil container. The opening of that container is fused, and then we have got it cut at certain places in order to support the assembly. So I'm just turning it around to show you all the faces of the oil container. This is the top face, which has a square opening at the top. There is a small opening at the base. Another square opening on one of the faces. And a square part has been cut. Not square, actually a rectangular part has been cut. And we have made an assembly like a door which can be locked with the help of a screw. This has been painted with black color in order to prevent stray radiation. So this is how the tin box is going to be placed while making the measurements in the assembly. So this is the front view. This is the left view. This is the top view. In the front view, you can see a rectangular window. This is the right hand view where you have again a square cut. Then at the back side, you can see a small hole through which the pipe of the Bunsen burner will be passing. So I will show you how the connections were made. So this is the Bunsen burner which we are going to use. So this is the valve which was used to adjust the height of the flame. Then there are 3 openings which have different purposes, which you will see when we make the final connections. Then this is a stand which we are going to use for mounting the smartphone. This can be bent in order to adjust the height and the position of the smartphone. Then there is a mounting place which is available. This is also provided with the spirit bubble in order to maintain the same position of the mobile phone. So the bubble position was adjusted and then the smartphone was mounted on the stand. The regulator of the gas cylinder was placed on the cylinder, and then the valve of the gas was opened. The Bunsen burner was placed inside the scrap oil tin container. And as you can see from the back side of the oil container, through the hole, the pipe was connected to the Bunsen burner. Then the nebulizer was fitted with the special tube and it was placed outside on the cylinder side of the scrap oil tin container. Through this opening, you can see the pipe was connected to one of the openings on the Bunsen burner. So you can see the connections of the pipe and the glass tube. This is how the nebulizer and the Bunsen burner were placed inside the scrap oil tin container, and this is how the assembly looks when the burner is lighted. Then this assembly was already available as a junk material in our laboratory. This is nothing but a cubical metallic part of an old instrument which has openings at the top as well as at the bottom. So we made use of this container to cover the flame so as to maintain its intensity. So this was just placed on the top. This can be easily constructed in case this is not available in the laboratory. So this was placed on the top of the flame. So once the assembly was ready, I would like to say that the positions of all the materials which are used or all the components which are used were kept fixed every time. They were marked, the positions were marked, and they were placed at the same position. So lithium chloride AR grade was used to prepare a stock solution of 1000 ppm. Using the 1000 ppm solution, the working standards were prepared of concentrations 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 till 100 ppm by diluting the stock solution appropriately. Now let me show you the analysis of 50 ppm solution. So the 50 ppm solution, 10 ml capacity, entire solution was poured into the top of the nebulizer. And then it was closed tightly. After ensuring proper closure of the nebulizer, it was switched on, and you can see that once the nebulizer is switched on, atomization of the sample takes place and it enters into the flame, which is also our sample holder. As soon as it enters into the flame, you have excitation and emission of characteristic wavelength of light, due to which we see the color of the flame, and at the same time a photograph of the flame was taken in the smartphone. So this is how the flame looks like, and its image was recorded. This is how the image looks like for 10 ppm. Similarly, all other concentrations of the lithium solution were aspirated into the flame and the photographs were recorded. The experimental table part ends here. All the images were recorded. These images have to be transferred into a laptop. So a folder was created on the desktop of the laptop. This folder was renamed as Flame Images. And in this folder, all the images from the smartphone were saved. Each image was renamed as 10_1. For example, for 10 ppm, 3 images were recorded. For 20 ppm, 3 images were recorded. And all the images were recorded and saved in this manner. For example, for 10 ppm, the 3 images were saved as 10_1, 10_2 and 10_3. 1, 2 and 3 were in brackets. So in a similar way, all the images were saved in this folder. Once these images were saved, the MATLAB program was opened. This is how the program looks like. You can see this ready word. It shows that the program is now open. And then you have to follow the instructions as shown in the video. So you can see 3 files on the desktop. So these are the 3 files which are available in the supporting information of the manuscript. So these files have to be downloaded by the user and saved on the desktop, which will be used for processing the data. Let us first open the first file, which is the final training code file. You need to select the entire material on this file by pressing Ctrl A, and then this has to be pasted in the MATLAB software. After pasting and saving the material on the first file, the second file was opened and the same instruction should be followed. That is, again the material has to be copied and pasted in MATLAB software. The same thing was carried out for the third file, and it is obvious that it was saved every time. After saving the material, the path for this file has to be pasted. You can see in line number 6, this path is for the material saved on our laptop. So the user has to save the path where they have saved this material in the MATLAB software. After pasting the path of the file where the images were stored, the user has to click on the run button or run icon, and then the training starts. So you can see on the right hand side that the training is complete. After the training is completed, this trained material has to be dragged and saved on the desktop of the user. Now the second file, which was GUI interface figure.mat file, there the training data path has to be pasted. You can see it on line number 181, which is highlighted. So there the user has to paste the path and after pasting it, the third file is opened and the run button is switched on or clicked. So there you can see in this window the training program is complete. This is the train GUI for lithium analysis. This can be now used for processing any unknown lithium image. These are the basic operations. The interference studies, the students were divided into 3 groups. Each group studied one interferent. The first group studied sodium, the second group studied potassium, and the third group studied calcium as the interferent. Let us first see the interference study of the first group. The first group prepared a stock solution of sodium using sodium chloride salt having a concentration of 1000 ppm. From the stock solution, the students prepared solutions of varying concentrations starting from 10 ppm up to 50 ppm. To each of these solutions, a constant amount of lithium, which is 50 ppm, was added and the dilutions were made. So you can see this solution which contains 50 ppm of lithium and 10 ppm of sodium. This solution was again poured into the nebulizer and the same operations were done and the images were recorded. So you can see the images seen and it was recorded using the smartphone. The other solutions were also analyzed in the same way. In between two solutions, the nebulizer was washed with distilled water and the images were recorded. These images were then subjected to the trained GUI and the lithium concentration in the unknown solution was determined. The details can be found in the supporting information part, which is provided with the manuscript. Same way potassium interference was carried out by the other group, second group. These are the images which were obtained. And the third group studied the calcium interference, where again the lithium concentration was kept constant and the calcium concentration was increased, and the images were recorded. This is how the program was again used to study the interference. Thus, this flame photometer can be easily constructed and used in any college laboratory or any academic institution with very less and inexpensive material, and can be successfully used for the analysis of lithium. The interference studies also demonstrated the use of lithium in presence of commonly available ions like sodium or calcium or potassium present in aqueous samples. Thank you very much.